Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast. The Hawks beat the Leafs 4-1 in Toronto. Welcome in. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. We are thrilled to have you with us here tonight. Before we get started, we are, 67 subscriptions away from 40,000 on YouTube?
I'm looking up the live number as we speak.
All right, if you're here, hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to do that, including Connor Pearson Ward, the Leafs fan who dropped in to say good game.
He's
Thanks,
a
frequent
White Sox viewer. He's also a Sox
fan.
fan.
Nice.
Yeah,
Appreciate
we're only
that.
60 away now.
A Sox and a
away.
Leafs fan. That's an interesting existence.
Well, he's probably subscribed already, but hit that subscribe button on YouTube for us.
Connor.
Make sure you smash that like button. If you're listening on the podcast, jump on our YouTube, subscribe there, and then give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. There's so much to get into in this game. It was such a great response. We talked about it in the pregame today of how we really expected the Hawks to come out ready to play this game after how they were not ready in Montreal. This was a hell of a game, and I don't remember feeling quite as stressed watching a Hawks game in quite a while. It here felt like a playoff game because it had been so long since we had felt invested in a hockey game like this, and you saw them hanging in, and you knew, for a while you felt like, oh, they're just kind of hanging on. But as you really started watching the game, there were parts of this game where the Hawks were controlling the play. It was a great, outstanding game. The numbers are going to be tilted because of the furious blitz at the end by Toronto, who pulled the goalie with 4 minutes left and basically didn't give up the puck the entire time. But what an impressive and gritty win against a true Stanley Cup contender with 3 rookie defensemen playing, and all of them having really solid performances.
Yeah. Damn, it feels good to win games again in games that matter.
Yeah.
Like last season, if this game happened last season, we'd be like chuckling to ourselves like, huh, well, that was a game they shouldn't have won. And look, like this season, it does, like I'm not going into games being like, well, they shouldn't win this and that's going to be okay. There's games that they shouldn't win that if they don't, I'm not going to be like super upset as long as there's a good effort. But then there's games like tonight where it was just like up and down the lineup. So many good performances. We were talking about, who's going to be our nominees for our 4th star tonight. And we literally had to have a debate based off of good performances of who should be there. Whereas last year it was almost like pulling teeth to figure out 3 guys to think.
Remember that check that he threw in the second period? I guess we can give him one.
Last season there were games where I was giving it to friggin' fans on on the broadcast and stuff like that. So to actually have a number of guys to choose from that had good performances, it just feels good, and there's some people that are gonna say like, no, they shouldn't be winning games. This is still a rebuild.
Do you? But no,
all the this is not going to be a tank atmosphere. So if they win games, like winning this game felt great. It feels so good to care about games again and to care about this team performing well, and I think that the guys that performed well tonight not only were some of the veterans, but some of the young guys too. We're going to talk a lot about him tonight. Alex Vlasic, have a fucking game. Like, just a wonderful performance from him. Arvid Soderblom too. He was named the number 1 star of the game, deservedly so. It's just there's so much as kind of upset that we were on Saturday night because of the result and the effort and the opponent. I'm going to Family Guy this one. That's how as good as it feels tonight to have this performance. against Toronto.
Well, after every game, we let you vote for the 4-star, and I see we got a lot of people here. Already 130 people have smashed the like button. We love you for that.
Nice.
Keep
Smash
it up.
it.
The 3 stars of the game. Number 3, John Tavares. Cool. Cry yourself to sleep in your Maple Leaf sheets. Number 2 star, Andreas Athanasiou, who had a really good game. We're going to get to him.
Yes.
Arvid Soderblom, number 1 star. So our nominees for 4-star of the game. And like Mario said, there are plenty of candidates. Mackenzie Entwistle with a goal, +1, 4 penalty minutes, 2 hits, a shot, and 8:18 of ice time. That is making the most of your ice time. He played his ass off.
2 of those penalty minutes was hot garbage.
Yeah, they were very ticky-tack. Vlasic finished the game with an assist, +2, 22:17 of ice time, 3 hits, 3 shots, and was on the ice as the Leafs were trying to come back, showing that he has full trust of Luke Richardson. And the other candidate, Corey Perry, with a goal, +1, 5 hits, 2 shots, 17:33 of ice time, getting into it with Ryan Reeves, giving it to the Toronto fans after he scores on a breakaway. And before we move past it, that Corey Perry breakaway, which looked like a video game glitch, he was so open.
Yeah.
That was a stretch pass from the goal line to the opposite blue line by Alex Vlasic over the stick of Mitch Marner, who's one of the better defending forwards in the NHL. What a brilliant pass by Alex Vlasic, and the best game he's had in his career. Vlasic's got my vote. Jump on our YouTube, vote for it right now, and we'll reveal the winner at the end of the show.
I think I got a feeling Steven's going to be able to get that graphic done pretty early.
Yeah, it'll be nice to be able to do that one.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
good choices.
It's good choices,
Good choices.
but I think I know who's going to win that one. Yeah, like we're going to celebrate wins this season. We said that all summer. We're not doing tank standings. We're not doing draft simulating spins. We're not doing any of that garbage. Yeah, we're not expecting the Blackhawks to make a playoff run here, but we're also, this season is not about trying to get the number 1 pick. If they still get a top 5 pick, awesome.
Yep.
They're
But
not
we're gonna-
trying to get the number 1 pick.
Right.
If they fall backwards
we'll
into
take
it,
it.
I mean, if the
Fine.
NHL,
Sure,
if the
I don't
NHL
know.
rigs the draft again, sure.
Sure, we're not gonna
I'm
be
all
mad.
for that. I'm not going to get mad at them, but I'm just saying they're not trying
Yeah.
to openly lose like they were last year. And there's reasons to celebrate tonight, whether you want them to finish, with the number 1 pick or not. The response. Saturday night
Huge.
in Montreal was arguably the worst game in the Luke Richardson era as far as execution and effort goes.
It's up there.
Like,
that I could remember.
even in all those garbage games we had to sit through last year, you could never question the effort or execution. It was there most nights. It just wasn't a very good team. Tonight, a full 60 minutes. Great effort, up and down the lineup. Arvid Soderblom has been fantastic in his 2 starts. So
Yeah.
is Peter Mrazek. Like, through 4 games, Blackhawks have had really good goaltending.
Just as we all predicted.
What? 2 goals allowed in the first game, 2 goals allowed in the second game,
3.
3 last night, and 1 tonight. So
That's 2 a game.
2 a game,
Yeah.
discounting
Right.
empty netters.
Right. So your goaltending looks good. You had the response you wanted. You got a power play goal.
Yeah.
Some of your young pieces are looking really good. We're going to talk a lot more about Vlasic. His looks really good.
Yeah.
Something that he didn't show up on the stat sheet, but I want to give a shout out to Lucas Reichel. Played really well
Much
defensively.
better. Yes.
Looked
Defensive.
like
Broke up a 2-on-1 with
Yes.
Nylander and Matthews.
by
Yeah.
back checking,
Yep.
like an NHL center does. So let's ride it out before we start. Like, yeah, he didn't have any points, but he played a really good defensive game. Now, if there's only one thing that we need to it's not nitpicking because it's a problem. If we need to criticize something, this team sucks at the face-off dot.
Yeah.
I
Capital
gotta imagine
SUX.
it's NHL worst. It has to be.
Oh, it was coming into the game, and it's going to go up by like 0.3 points.
Yeah.
They were 31.7 heading into tonight's game, and it was 32.12 or whatever it was total.
Yeah, it's not
32%
great.
tonight. So they're essentially 32%. That's 1 out of every 3 they win. You can't
that
do
works
that
in,
for a season.
that works in baseball, not hockey.
Right. You can go 1 for 3 for your career, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Go 1 for 3 at the face-off dot, you're Kirby Dot.
Not great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good. And listen, your top 2 centers are 2 guys that have never played that position at this level. So we expected some struggles. But the other guys got to pick it up. Jason Dickinson struggled. Ryan Donato's been
Yeah.
like you got to
Was he
start.
3 for 4
he was
tonight?
better tonight.
Yeah.
He was better tonight. Donato led 3 for 4.
Yeah, 75%.
But you look at Jason Dickinson, 3 of 13. No, he's
Yeah,
got to be
yeah.
better. Lucas Reichel was 4-9.
That's not great.
No, and Anthony Sayu took 6 draws, only won 2. Tyler Johnson, 0 for 6.
Oof.
Connor Bedard, 4 for 13.
It's not good.
It's not good. They've got to do something. Last year, they were one of the best face-off teams in the league, at least to the trade deadline, because you had, Taves and Max Domi were at like 54%.
Yeah.
It didn't do them any good.
Nope.
Like they would win the face-off and then immediately give the puck to the other team. But you got to get some consistent, especially when you're, defensive zone against a team like Toronto. And they won 32% at the dot and still won by 3 goals against Toronto. Don't push your luck.
Yeah.
Right,
Start
yeah.
winning.
That-
You're not going to do that very often.
No.
Well, the question is, though, like, and we probably have weekday shows, non-post games. We could probably get into this more, but what's the answer? I mean, you're going to go trade for somebody just to win faceoffs in a season where wins are fun and we're celebrating them, but do they really matter in the long run? Probably not. And statistical studies have shown that faceoffs make a very small percentile difference in wins or losses over the course of a season, but it would be nice when you're up a goal late and you have a draw in your own zone to actually win it.
Right.
And not give the team, your opponent at least possession and a couple shots on goal. Maybe it's not ideal, but aside from that, it was just
That's the only
the
negative.
most fun I've had watching a game in years.
Yeah, that's the only negative from tonight.
Yeah, and I expect Bedard will get better.
hope
Reichel
so.
will get better. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
they
Taves
repetition.
sucked his rookie, and
They'll get better, but
yeah.
it needs to get better soon. But you need Jason Dickinson to get better. You need Tyler Johnson to get better. Those are guys that have done it for a long time. Like I don't want to harp on Bedard and Reichel because those are the things that for a young center, that's like the last thing to really hit. Like I'd rather have them be point producers.
Yeah.
So those other 3 or 4 guys have to start picking it up.
Yeah, and for guys like Reichel and Bedard, the nuance of taking a draw at the NHL level against the guys that have done it for years and years and years, there's a learning curve there. There's guys like Sidney Crosby has been taking faceoffs for 18 years.
Yeah, and it's
in
John
the
Tavares,
NHL.
and
John,
it's-
yeah,
like
these guys have been
studs.
doing it for years. They know all the ins and outs of stick positioning and body positioning and
Not
all
gonna
that
get
stuff.
any easier with Nathan McKinnon the next game.
Right.
And Mark Stone. the
Right,
game
it's
after
gonna
that.
it's definitely a trial by fire at the dot, but again, like it can't be, you can't be in the 30%. Like that has to get better, but that's Yannick Perreault's job.
Yeah, it's 4 games, but it's of all the portions of the game, that's the thing I'm most concerned about. Like
That's a good thing.
yeah.
If that's the biggest issue, then fine.
I mean, the power plays went 0 for 15 before it scored, but you could see that
it's coming.
like once some of these guys figure out shoot it more often, but the movement's there, the talent's there, that will be fine. The PK is still perfect on the season. Not concerned about that.
pretty good.
When Taylor Hall's in the lineup, you've got depth scoring, as we saw tonight. It was the bottom 6 getting the job done tonight. So, like all the facets, the goaltending has been really good. The young defensemen, for the most part, been better than expected.
Yeah.
So right now, the only thing that really like has red flags going off is the face-off. But you got 78 games to improve on it.
And they'll figure it out. And look, that Connor Bedard's going to do everything he can to be as good at faceoffs as he can. That's what he does. He is obsessive about being the best at everything he does. And that he's probably in there right now taking faceoffs against somebody. He probably grabbed John Tavares out of the Leafs locker room and said, "Come in here. We're doing faceoff drills now." Look, any young player struggles. Jonathan Taves, like I said, had a tough rookie year at faceoffs. He was in the 40s. Same with Sidney Crosby. With time and experience, it will come. but we should not be spending this much time on the effing faceoffs when they beat the Leafs 4-1 in Toronto and had one of the best performances they've had in years. And there's just so many guys in this game that deserve credit. And there were a few moments in this one where I got a little bit frustrated with Corey Perry, like making an extra pass, making an extra move. But boy, he was doing his job. Like the first time we saw him in full Pudwack mode, getting under the skin of Ryan Reeves, who, did he leave? I didn't see much of Ryan Reeves in the third period.
I saw Mackenzie Entwistle skate right by him to score that first goal.
Yeah, he had plenty of time to write up his bench chirping material because he wasn't on the ice.
I think he was. He missed the rest of the game with severe windburn. God. You got to tell us you're working on these things ahead of time. Is that Vin Diesel?
Yes, it is.
Okay, if you are listening on the podcast, you're going to want to go on YouTube and go to about 16-minute mark and look at the graphic that Steven made with Mackenzie Entwistle says for family. Mackenzie Entwistle versus the Maple Leafs, a goal, a shot on goal. That's 100% shooting, my friends.
That's pretty good.
And 2 hits. All right, we have a lot of new people here, so we need to re-explain the Mackenzie Entwistle has no family joke that we make all the time.
Oh, man.
Rewind to the opening game last year in Denver.
Oh, man.
We talked to Mackenzie Entwistle after the morning skate, and he was talking about how some of the veterans have family in town with them for the home opener, and he said, I don't have a family, so it's a little bit easier on me, or whatever he said, meaning no one's here with me in Denver.
I don't have kids.
Right. We took it and ran with it as he doesn't have a family,
no family,
and we have more creatively and violently offed his family. Chuckle Muckle on Twitter today said they died in a riverboat casino accident. So it just keeps coming. So when you see us refer to Mackenzie Entwistle the orphan,
Yes.
they're not actually dead.
No,
only on the show.
His dad was very much in attendance for the game.
Grandmother too, I believe.
Yeah, his grandma too. Like he's got a family. It's fine.
We actually had
It's just a
Mackenzie
joke.
Entwistle on the show right after last
Yes.
season.
Yeah.
We explained the bit to him, and he was a good sport.
Because
About
he was
it,
getting
so.
weird tweets.
Yeah, he was like,
So we
"Oh,
had to
now
say,
I know
sorry,
why people under
that's our fault.
Yes.
Sorry.
So that's the thing. In case
Yeah.
you're wondering, going back to Ryan Reeves, 638, 9 total shifts.
Yeah.
His that went down from his average before the game.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
Well,
So,
when you start chasing the game, that's when Ryan Reeves starts sitting on the bench.
great 3-year contract, and then you got Tyler Bertuzzi, another guy that's going to change the culture there. Takes a bad penalty.
Yes, he is.
And they score a goal right after that. And did Max Domi play tonight? I heard he started.
I saw him pass up the opportunity to shoot.
I heard
He did.
I
He did
heard
play.
he signed with Toronto, but
He
I
did
don't
play, yeah.
recall seeing him once tonight.
Yeah.
I saw a big fat head mask of his dad.
Yeah,
dancing
that was
crowd.
that was in the crowd.
1 shot on goal, 3 shot attempts for Max Domi.
Yeah, I mean,
11:32.
yeah. Once this, once the Blackhawks got up to the 3-1 lead, the bench got real short, and it was a lot of Matthews and Marner and Tavares and the big guns. But
Mitch Marner played 25:53.
I'm not surprised
Auston Matthews 25:48.
because both those guys also play on the PK.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and not that this is a
go-
Leafs
I mean, they're
podcast,
gonna
but like
they're going to do that. They're going to be dead.
You're,
No
yeah,
wonder they
what are
keep
you
losing.
doing?
No wonder
It's
they
game
keep,
3 for
They
them.
have a shitty coach.
Dude, you're burning out your players in game 3,
Hey, that's
and maybe
why
they
they
wouldn't be
lose in
so
the first round
friggin'
every
gassed.
year.
Put some other guys on the ice.
Oh, they don't have
Asshat.
They don't have Sam Lafferty anymore.
That's right. The fire and the passion.
They needed that 5th round pick.
They're no longer there.
Auston Matthews finished with 9 shots on goal, and he had
Jesus.
0 in the first period.
So my
Jeez.
4.5 came in.
Double it.
yeah,
Good
that
Lord.
definitely came with the over. But hey, the Blackhawks ended the hat trick streak.
Yeah.
Not
That's
only
right.
did
Someone
he
had
not
to
get
do
a
it.
hat trick, he didn't even get a goal.
Nope, they took that one off 45 seconds later.
Did he score it? I thought that was Nylander
It
scored.
looked like it tipped off
Oh,
Matthews, but
okay.
we'll never know because
It doesn't
was-
matter because
'cause it
Nylander
never
was
happened.
offside.
It never happened.
Yeah, that play never
I
happened.
said that when it happened, when they put 51 seconds back on the clock, I was like, you know what? I'd rather have a 1-goal lead with 6 seconds than a 2-goal lead with 50 seconds against this team. But
That's
didn't
true.
matter.
Yeah,
Even though the Taylor Hall
yeah, that one got wiped off too.
screwed me.
That would have
Screwed me.
won you. Who's your hawk?
Cost me the helmet.
Unfortunately.
Hold on to it. We got to do it at the end of the show. I got in
Okay.
trouble
All right.
last show for doing
Sure.
it too
Let's
soon.
go. Let's get back to the game. What do we want to talk about?
Well, let's
How about
we
Arvid
just take our
Soderblom?
first break here. But yeah, when we come back from the break, let's talk about Arvid Soderblom because he was absolutely outstanding in this game.
Fantastic.
Yes.
He was might have been hero of the night.
He was a hero between the pipes.
Sell that. Let's go.
He was a hero, and that's a perfect lead into our new friends, Hero Bread. And they sent us some samples. They make some very good, healthy breads and tortillas as well.
A good tortilla.
Yeah, I mean, it's very good stuff. You may be counting carbs. You may not be counting carbs, but you may be looking to get more fiber or protein in your diet. Then Hero Bread is for you. It's got a lot of times, like I tried to cut back on carbs, and you get some of these healthy breads, and they don't taste like
cardboard.
Bread. The texture's not there. Well, that's not the case with Hero Bread. The taste and texture of the bread is soft and fluffy, and it is delicious. It's got primary nutrients, high fiber, and or ultra low net carbs, and 0 grams of sugar per slice.
That's good.
So if you want to get yourself fewer calories than the leading national brands and 5 to 10 grams of protein per serving, check out our friends at Hero Bread. Right now, Hero Bread is offering the CHGO family 10% off their very first order. Just go to hero.co and use the promo code CHGO to save on Hero Bread today. That's hero, HERO.co, and save 10% today.
Bread has always been my hero.
I love bread.
I love bread and I love grass. And Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide variety of high-quality cannabis products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate and survive your football season and to celebrate your hockey wins. No matter where you are as a cannabis user, if you're noob or if you're experienced veteran in the world of cannabis, Sunnyside is the place for you to go. They've got easy online ordering and in-store pickup and a loyalty program called Sunnyside Rewards. Get rewarded for getting cannabis. That sounds awesome. They've got a wonderful house of brands. They talk all the time about Mindy's and Good News and Cresco. How about High Supply? They offer quality weed that's always available. Buds are expertly grown, lab tested, and available in vape carts, vape pens, flower, popcorn, shake, pre-rolls, shorties, and concentrates. And Wonder Wellness Company. They want to make the world of cannabis simple to understand and easy to experience for everyone. The brand's low-dose formulations offered in gummies and mints allow people to control their high, whether it's for microdosing throughout the day or easing in to their cannabis experience. That's a great place to start, folks. And now through October 31st, ooh, that's Halloween, head to sunnyside.shop and use code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order. That's one use per customer and not stackable with other promos, but it's not only for new customers. Anyone can use that code. Pick up everything you need to elevate your football season. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois MedCard holder. Again, that is sunnyside.shop, code CHGO25.
Speaking of football season, Blackhawks, 2 wins, Bears 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
We predicted that.
We sure did.
We got to find our poll. We got to find that and retweet that and get it out there. I believe our own Mark Carman agreed that the Blackhawks were going to win 2 games before.
Yeah.
It's also not good that the Bears started their season like
much earlier,
5 weeks ahead of the
much earlier
Blackhawks. But
yeah.
But hey, I mean, you don't become Chicago's least dysfunctional team in the month of September of 2023.
They might repeat.
I think they've got back. I think they got the back-to-back months locked up.
I had to get my printer going again.
Might happen.
Well, Arvid Soderblom, number 1 star of the game, stopped 32 of 33 Maple Leaf shots, especially at the end.
Yeah.
With the empty net.
Saves.
They were just peppering him. He's going post to post. He's making glove saves. He was absolutely wonderful in this game. And as we sort of like go through this rebuild, and we're going to talk about this too with like Vlasic and other guys, you kind of are figuring out like, okay, you can start sorting guys. Like, okay, who do we know is going to be someone you can count on for sure when you're ready to win again? All right, who are we not sure about yet? Who are we pretty sure won't be? And you start to silo these players, and Soderblom's making his case. I mean, we've all sort of assumed that at some point this year he's going to leapfrog Mrazek and be the starter, be it via injury or just performance.
Yeah.
And we've all sort of already penciled him in to be Comesso's backup. But if he keeps playing like this, I mean, not every night he's going to stop 31 of 32, but he looks solid. He looks good. We talk about it all the time. He is so positionally sound and so quiet in the net. He's not flopping everywhere, desperately trying to make saves. He knows where he is. He knows where his posts are. I've been really impressed with him, and this was, top of my head, the most impressive performance I think he's had so far.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of got hung out last year a lot of games. 34 saves on 35 shots to be exact. So even better than that.
Oh, NHL.com's wrong? Who knew?
That app is a
can't believe it.
Dumpster fire. But he got hung out last year a lot. Hence his 2-12 record in the NHL that he brought into tonight's game. But those numbers were deceiving, and there were a lot of games last year where he made a lot of saves to keep the game, not necessarily keep the team in the game because they were just getting run out a lot of nights, but to keep it competitive, keep them within a goal or two. He had a lot of games like that last season, and this season I think the roster is good enough to maybe give him some leads to play with, or to maybe make up for a goal or two that goes in, and I think Soderblom, he's another year older. He's more experience at the North American level, coming over from Sweden in his career, early on in his career. He's still a young guy too, 24, I think. So I mean, a lot of times it takes goalies, more time to develop and to get to the NHL level, NHL caliber pro. Corey Crawford took 4 full AHL seasons before getting into to the NHL. So Soderblom, for comparison's sake, he's ahead of where a lot of goalies are when they finally get to the NHL and become NHL regulars. So to see him come in, have 2 really good performances to start this season, gives you a lot of confidence for him moving forward. Drew Commesso had a really good first professional game with the Ice Hogs. So where they are in the future of goaltending for the Blackhawks, Commesso, Soderblom, if it's one or the other, early indications for this season are positive, and I think, I would love for Soderblom to, earn the net for his play rather than Mrazek has an injury, because I don't want to wish injury on anybody. But I would love for Soderblom to play well enough to be like, no, you're the starter now. And I think through 2 games, it's a really good start to his season.
Yeah, and with the goalies, you have Commesso, his first pro season. He won his pro debut over the weekend for the Ice Hogs. Congratulations on that. Jackson Stauber, not so good the second game. And you have Adam Guyan that you drafted, who, years away.
Many years.
Goalies are so weird. Like that for every Devin Levi who gets in there, and he hasn't been spectacular yet either, but he's at the NHL level.
Yeah.
For every one of those, you have
Marc-Andre Fleury,
20 Corey Crawfords, where it takes years to get there. So yes, if Soderblom can be very good this year and next year, that gives Drew Commesso more time to develop. Mm-hmm. And if they're both very good, that gives Guyan more time to develop. You can never have too many goaltenders. Especially in today's age.
You'd rather have 2 or 3 that you can turn to with confidence than none.
Yeah. So someone mentioned earlier that Askarov was drafted 11th overall by Nashville in 2020. He's still in the AHL.
Well, yeah.
Well, it also helps when you have Juicy Saros as your starter. You don't need
let
him develop and play.
He's 20 years old.
Right, exactly. So
he needs time.
Every goalie's different, and the Hawks, for the first time in a long time, seem to have that position.
There's a future there.
Yes. He who shall be not named ignored that position in the draft. Maybe, if I got 2 7th-rounders, I'll use one on him.
Well, he did,
except for the
Commesso,
right? But before that,
but for many years,
11 years prior,
many years before that,
he completely ignored.
He's like, shit, we have no goalies.
He finally went. Well, I guess Corey Crawford's gone. I should probably draft.
Wait, hockey players retire? No one told me this.
Yeah. So
you're right.
They've got it in a position where there's some nice prospects developing well, and we'll see how that goes.
Super chat from Windy City Hockey says Soda was outstanding. The team played great. Absolutely. Why don't we rifle through some super chats because I know they're starting to pile up here a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, we got some euros.
Big ones. 2 euros from Alexander says Vlasic equals Norris. Joking, but how good has he been? Talked about it. He's been awesome.
Fantastic.
McLovin with 578.
It's a very weird.
Okay,
number.
random, but we'll take it. Alex Vlasic is our top defensive D-man. Corey Perry is still a saint, and our depth came up huge tonight. Our D kids all looked pretty damn solid. Let's go Hawks.
Vlasic, I said it on Twitter. We said it here watching the game. No concerns about him.
No.
Yet this season. Like
No, he's just
camp,
calm as hell.
preseason, the first 4 games, I've seen nothing that makes me worry about
He's
him.
not only an NHL defenseman, he's a top pairing NHL defenseman right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's not playing with Seth Jones by default.
No.
Like he's earned that
It
position.
just seemed that every time the Blackhawks needed a defenseman, a stick to get in the way, there was number
He's there.
72
Yeah,
all night long.
using that length and that reach.
And then that pass to Perry was just
great
gravy.
play.
It was interesting. Darren Pang mentioned how Vlasic's feet are always a 10-2. And I've noticed that about him. Like, he skates like with his feet like a duck. And I think what that does is it allows him to kind of box guys out.
Yeah,
Like, it allows him to be strong on his skates, strong on his base. And, I mean, he's 6'6", so not many people are getting around him anyway. But I thought it was interesting that Darren Pang pointed out because I had noticed that about Vlasic. I thought maybe it's just because he's such a big guy that he kind of has to position himself that way. But if we see Panger at the opener on Friday, I'm going to ask him about that specifically. Like, what does that mean when you mentioned the 10-2? What kind of a bit, like, what is that advantage for a defenseman? I thought it was really interesting because it's something I had noticed watching him in practice and stuff.
Yeah. Well, when
usually behind the net, he does that.
when you're a defenseman of that size, you got to use it to your advantage. You don't want to be 6'6" skinny.
Yeah, right.
You know, so having it wider makes it, yeah, exactly like you said. It's to box out people and doing it behind the net. There's only so much space there. So if you're 6'6" and you can, square up your legs, as I spread on camera, just square up your legs like
More
that.
super chats
You're
that way.
basically making it so no one can get around you behind the boards.
It's after 9 p.m. It's all right.
That's true. So I mean, it's a good technique to have, and you see guys like with Bedard and Crosby. That comparison was made early on in during the first game about how they skate wide and they use their lower body to create space. So it's great to see a guy like Vlasic who even at when he was drafted, the talk about his mobility and his skating ability was already like, hey, like, yeah, he's 6'6", but he's not a giraffe on skates. Like, he can move pretty well. So that's developed over time, which is great to see. So, yeah, no concerns about him. Korchinski had a really good game tonight, too. Like, he was active in the
Getting
offensive
national
zone.
praise. A lot of eyes on this game tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Matt Larkin mention how good Korchinski looks. Like, there's a lot of people.
Well, Toronto is the center of the hockey world, right?
I mean,
Not
it
anymore.
is.
It's Chicago, my friends.
It shouldn't be, but it is. They haven't won since 67. Reminder, by the way, 67. Subscribe to our YouTube page, please. We're like about 30 away
30,
now.
exactly.
Yeah.
30.
30 away.
Let's
We're
go.
Eddie Belfour away from 40,000.
Can we
so,
get to this next super chat, please?
Yes.
Yes, the next
Super
one.
chat, $20 from Nate.
Oh, I wonder why.
Greg,
Yeah.
you called it. You're an effing
sure
wizard.
did.
Throw an
I
extra
sure did.
$20 in the collection plate tonight because not only did we beat the Leafs, they got 3 extra minutes, a goal called back, shenanigans, and still lost 4-1.
Hey.
It's true. I said it after Saturday night. We were all, oh my God, you can't believe they lost to the Canadians. This is or the way they lost to the Canadians.
Yeah.
And then I said, you know what? Watch them. They're going to go out and dominate the Maple Leafs now because hockey is dumb.
Hockey is dumb.
Hockey,
You
hockey
said-
remains dumb.
You said on the pregame it is dumb, and it is dumb.
It's fun when it's dumb.
It's games like this, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I enjoy the dumbness of and randomness of hockey.
Yes, definitely.
should make a T-shirt about that.
Dumb is fun.
I enjoy the dumbness of hockey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super chat from Nick, $5. Alex Vlasic played a 10-year vet tonight. Arvid was incredible. Imagine if the team played this way in Montreal.
It's true. They would have won.
That's the frustration. That's why I was so pissed after that game because we know what they're capable of. We saw it in Pittsburgh. We saw it a little bit in Boston.
I saw it in the third
and we saw it
period
tonight
in Montreal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The last 10 minutes when they decided, hey, we want to play hockey.
And McBaconator says, Leafs fans, last 2 minutes, hope, no hope. Offsides, hope, Offsides, no hope. Pretty sure 3 more offsides goals called back in there. Power play hope. PK, no hope. It's fun to watch the Leafs fans suffer, isn't it? I enjoy it.
I mean, it's a yearly tradition, but this year's going to be different.
Yeah, no, I
Sure.
mean it's fun to know and watch the Blackhawks be on the stages that they've been on to start this season. Opening night on ESPN, opening night on TNT, in Montreal, in Toronto. They're going to be on ESPN now again on Thursday night when they play the Avalanche. And to see consistently, like as a whole, good performances. You know, I know they lost against Boston, lost against Montreal, but consistently like good performances. Like you're seeing guys like Alex Vlasic step up, Arvid Soderblom play well, Peter Mrazek, even playing well. Connor Bedard is going to get so much coverage this season, but the fact that he's had positive impacts in games that either he's had a secondary assist or tonight, he was still creating a lot of chances. I don't have any doubts about his performances this year, but it's just good that we're not stepping into this season. First 5 games on the road, 4 of them on national TV in America, all 5 of them on national TV somewhere in North America, and they're not walking away 0-5 looking like just embarrassing. Like, it's great to have this team on this platform and like playing competently. It's such a difference than last year.
Hey, you beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-1 in their building, and Connor Bedard didn't have a point.
Yeah,
It's his first NHL game without a point.
Made a little bit of history tonight, though. We got a little note here from the game. Connor Bedard is the 4th player in NHL history with 20 shots on goal through his first 4 career games. Okay.
nice.
That sounds good.
Do we know who the other 3 were?
Some dudes. They mentioned during the game, and I don't think it's
Yeah.
anyone I'd ever heard of. But hey, it's not bad. That's a good thing. We also have news on who Corey Perry was pointing at.
Oh, I wondered about that.
Shane O'Brien and Scotty Upshaw were in the crowd, and he was acknowledging those 2 guys in the crowd.
I know Scotty Upshaw. Shane O'Brien, did he play?
Canuck.
Yeah, he was a Canuck.
Okay.
He was one of the Pudwack Canucks.
Didn't he?
back in
He's
the
one
day.
of knocked out, or was that Willie Mitchell that hit
so
Taves
was
real
so
hard?
was Scotty Upshaw, Pudwack.
Yeah. Well, Pudwacks flock together.
That's true.
Because who else would hang out with Pudwack except a fellow Pudwack?
You got a point.
They're from Pudwackistan. We mentioned that in the pregame show.
Pudwackistan, yes.
Pudwackian.
They are all of Pudwackian descent. Yes, Shane O'Brien, yeah, he was a Canuck. 55, I want to
Yeah.
say. He was,
I don't know. It was either him or Willie Mitchell that knocked Taves out. Like a hard center ice hit that
think it
Taves
was-
was super concussed.
I
think
wanna
it was-
say
think it
Willie
was-
Mitchell.
I thought it was because O'Brien was on those, like right when that rivalry started to get hot, and
Yeah.
then he was gone. But yeah,
I'll have to look it up.
Over 500 people watching right now, by the way.
What's
awesome.
up?
Awesome.
And
What's
we're
up,
only
500
25
people?
subscribers away.
All
so
All right,
Let's go.
subscribe,
25,
subscribe,
500,
subscribe.
make these numbers make sense.
Yeah.
And smash that like button. We only have 289 likes.
We need
only.
to race to the 40K like Victor
yes,
Stahlberg.
we want it to happen on this show, so we
you
could
can't
say-
see it on camera, but we got a ton of balloons up here in a net
We
for,
just-
for the
we
balloon
just
drop
wanna
when we
say,
hit 40,000.
I have a goal horn that's going to scare the hell out of you guys, too. So if you want to see
Awesome.
them jump
Good.
on camera.
I am old and fat. Please keep this in mind when bouncing any new sound effects off.
Need more hero
had,
bread.
I've had chili from 2 of my last 3 meals, so bring it on.
All right, just warn us, please. Just warn us, please. That's for sure. Boy, oh boy. I mean, we mentioned a little bit briefly. Really nice bounce back game for Reichel. Did not get on the score sheet, but
Defensively good.
was playing
Yes.
at all ends of the ice. Really impressed with that back check on 2 of the most elite scorers in the league, in Nylander and Matthews. That's the sort of stuff like you want to see how these dudes respond to poor performances. And I know he finished last game with 6 shots on goal or whatever, but none of them were consequential. It felt
Right.
like,
And
and he
4
did
of them
not
came
play
in
a strong game.
5 second.
And you saw him bounce back, and the whole team responded well. That's the stuff. Like again with the Montreal game, it wasn't the fact that they lost. It was how they lost, and that was what the frustrating thing was. So
Yeah.
the bounce back here is just another reflection on, I think, the character of these guys and also the coach. And the more we see this stuff happen, the more we see this team develop and grow, the more we see this team respond to adversity, the more we get that confirmation that Luke Richardson is a dude here.
Yeah, and I think, I don't think I'd be too far out of line to say that, Richardson's message after the Montreal game probably was in line with the stern, disappointed father. And
I'm disappointed. I'm not mad.
And that will even professional hockey players who are 30 years old or whatever, that'll get to you. And I'd like to think that the message was well received with the effort that they had tonight. And that's why, like you said, that's why all last season, it was very easy to get behind Luke Richardson as head coach early on, because you saw the effort, you saw the kind of performances that that team last year was putting in, where they had no business being in many of the games that they were either winning or within a goal, having a chance late in the game to make something happen. So I think this year, we've talked about it, top to bottom, this roster feels better than it was last year, as far as depth and kind of spreading out the talent a little bit more. And you have Luke Richardson and his coaching staff still trying to instill that work ethic and that mentality that you can outwork a lot of opponents, and that's going to end up bringing positive results. So you put those two things together, a more talented roster and a similar work ethic and approach, you're going to have games like this. And that's why I think we've all kind of been saying, like, this team is probably going to outperform what the national expectations and pundits are saying of, they'll be, bottom 3 in the league and they will probably only have 62 points or whatever. Like, I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams.
I'm really interested to see what the coverage is going to be tomorrow, because, like I said, this game had a lot of national eyes on it. Anytime the Leafs play, people watch. I don't know. You saw a lot of people. I saw Steve Dangle, who I know is very polarizing. People either seem to love him or hate him, but he was kind of commenting on the coverage of Bedard. I'm trying to find the tweet. It was really funny. He says, when Connor McDavid was a rookie, the Sportsnet YouTube channel posted about him a lot, and a bunch of people got mad. You know what more people did? They watched the McDavid stuff. Bedard gets talked about because he should. Don't like it. Fill scuba gear with farts and don't watch. That's it. That's it right there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, Bedard is, I know we've talked a lot about him, but that's because he deserves to be talked about. He's that kind of talent, that kind of player. So more teams are going to see him. More networks are going to highlight him, and it's better for him. It's better for the game. It's better for the team. I'm not mad about it.
No doubt.
Nope, not at all. Yep, great response tonight. The Luke Richardson factor, we're going to start seeing that more and more as this team gets better and these younger players get better. I think he is going to be the perfect coach for developing these young players because, first of all, he knows when to pull back. He knows not to give them too much. He knows that, hey, if you make a mistake, get back out there and try it again. Just
right.
don't. I also think he's going to be the perfect coach for when this team is ready to compete because he gets maximum effort and execution from him on most nights. So very exciting times ahead for the Blackhawks. And it would be even more exciting if we get 14 more subscribers before the end of the season.
Marky says, can I sub a second time? Yes. That's what burner accounts are for.
Yes.
Let's go. This is how you get your free trials for things.
Yes, you should have multiple email addresses.
Yeah.
If we get 14 people to get a burner account and then subscribe.
Yeah,
I've already liked it for my 4 YouTube accounts.
Is Steve from Cicero subscribed?
Yeah, come on, Steve. Step it up.
Come on, let's go, Steve.
We're going to run you over with our Dodge Ram.
Yes.
I'll show you some Ram power.
Because they got Ram power.
Ram.
Oh, boy. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, then we've got some great news for you. Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Fox Lake have just joined the CHGO team.
You got to say Ram with some power.
And,
Come on.
Hey, when you read it, you could do it the way you
All right,
want.
fine.
At Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, you'll always be able to shop one of
There we go.
Chicagoland's largest inventories and find unforgettable savings. And right now, during Ram Power Days at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, only in Fox Lake, you'll be able to secure 0% financing or 17% off all new Ram models. And that's not all. Now through October 31st, explore their newly renovated showroom and take advantage of limited time 7-year anniversary savings. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, because they have the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, you can head on over to raycdjr.com today. Serving the community since 1963. Get some of that Ram power.
There you go.
Ram
That's what I like to
power.
see. That's the enthusiasm we're looking for. And hey, if you want to make some money watching sports, head over to Circa Sportsbook. They've got their tight money line splits and their low model hold. Games will strive to be a -110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use -115 or -120 splits. Pff, jerks. Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets like futures, golf tournaments, etc., especially compared to other books. They've got high app limits and transparency. Circa does not limit players based on their winnings. Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. Well, that doesn't sound fair. We encourage bettors to download and explore all sports betting apps available and compare the lines from each sports book. Customer service at Circa is the name of the game as well. There are real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other books who use chatbots, and all aspects of the app are being run by the are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Download the Circa Sports Illinois at circasports.com/Illinois-app. That is circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. Text GAMB to 833-234 or visit areyourreallywinning.com. And if you're a Leafs fan, no, you're not.
Who do you
One more. We did it, guys.
We
Who
hit
do you-
the
who do you-
40K. I apologize.
Who do you text for heart palpitations?
I apologize for anybody listening to the audio-only
rip
version
your ears.
in their car and have now driven off a cliff. Our bad. And if
Hey,
you have
that
your
means
earbuds in,
40,000.
But we hit 40,000.
Thank you. We'll stop bugging you now.
And if you did get in an automobile accident while hearing that, head on over to Ray Chrysler Jeep and Ram. They'll get you a new
Yeah,
car.
they'll get you some Ram power. Hey, that's awesome.
Thank you,
You guys
everybody.
are the greatest.
See, the power of just asking people to do stuff works.
Yeah.
Or badgering them until they do.
Yeah,
Either way,
or-
the result's the same.
or
We'll take it.
encouraging them to create burner accounts and and subscribe under their
Hey, it
burners.
doesn't matter. It's
Hey.
not 40,000.
40,000 is 40,000, and we appreciate every single one of those 40,000
Absolutely.
subscribers here at CHGO. Without you guys, we don't have jobs, and we don't have a CHGO community like we do across all the teams that we cover: Bears, Bulls, Hawks, Cubs, Sox, Red Stars, Fire, Sky, the Marathon, betting shows, all that stuff. We don't do it without you guys. So appreciate everybody that has subscribed and followed along and hopped down the ride with us. And keep going. Keep telling your friends, family, pester your coworkers, and tell them to check us out and be a part of a growing community.
Absolutely. And become a diehard, too.
Yeah.
Tons of great perks. You get a free shirt when you sign up and all that great stuff. Save on all of our events, like 20% off our merch and our events. It just pays for itself if you're a Hawks fan. And we should remind you that November 4th, We've got our first
Yeah, it's
United
coming
Center
up.
takeover of that game against the Florida Panthers. That includes a pregame experience at Fifth Third Arena.
Yeah.
So come hang out with us November 4th. Go to allchgo.com to get the info on that event.
If we get to 50,000 subscribers by November 4th, will you guys strap on some skates with me for that event?
No.
Wow.
Fat people
Wow. Just
become throwing
it in the face
Why?
of the CHGO
Why would I do
community.
that? Why would I expose
For
myself?
50,000
don't
subscribers.
Do it for $50,000.
Man.
I'd still think about it. I don't want to become a forever meme.
I don't have the money to cover the insurance bill it's going to take me to like.
Let's strap some pillows to your butts.
I've got
We'll be
those
fine.
already.
We're
I got the natural
trying to
ones.
maintain credibility as a hockey podcast. If they see me, you ever see the lady who was stomping grapes and then fell off the stage and that's going to be me forever on the internet of me breaking my ass. No,
We have to
absolutely not.
We have to get that sound effect.
The only way I will do it is if we have like a Dave Chappelle style confiscation of cell phones.
Okay.
Like when everybody walks in, they've got to lock their cell phone in a bag.
About the 49
Maybe.
minute mark, Steven. Mark it. We gotta get that. We gotta get that sound effect clipped. And every time we talk about someone having a bad performance, we're just gonna play that. No, I am not skating on November 4th, November
I
5th.
tried.
Not in it. It's not good for my health.
All right.
And yes, you're right. If like they're gonna be like, look at these hockey podcasters. They can't
Yeah.
even skate. I'm not doing it.
Nope.
Not
Thank you.
I embarrass myself plenty on this show. I don't need to do it on the rink.
All right.
Thank you very much. Yes. All right, we got more super chats. Sure, we got a bunch, right? Let's get through them. We'll do Connor's Corner, and then we'll pay off who won, who's your hawk. It wasn't me. All right, Steven says Connor still draws the opponent's best defender so that the other lines have it, quote, easier. That's for sure. And a lot of this game, Connor Bedard was matched up against Auston Matthews and was doing pretty well for himself. Four shots on goal.
Meant Selke finalist Mitch Marner was out there too.
Yeah. 4 shots on goal, 2 more shot attempts, so 6 shot attempts. Delivered 2 hits.
Yeah, he had
Like-
one. He had one good one on Marner.
He was a factor, and you lost him for the last probably 5 to 7 minutes of the game because
You're
the Hawks
playing
were trying to
defense,
hold the
yeah.
lead. And I know there were some people in the chat I saw saying, "Get him out there, empty net." No,
I was saying that.
nope. Win the
I
game.
was saying that because I could have won my bet.
Yeah. Me
Yes,
too.
but
Same
in
here. That was a
terms of-
selfish.
In terms of hockey strategy, you want to win that game. You want to
Yes,
reward those guys
of
for
course.
playing as hard as they did. Connor Bedard will get his points. This is the first game he hasn't had a point. There's absolutely zero reason to
So
worry.
he's just gonna have to get 2 in Denver to get back on a point per game pace.
That's fine.
No problem.
Speak it into existence.
That's right. So he had a great game. Aside, not probably not his most impressive of the 4, but still a factor every time his skates touch the ice, every single time. More super chats. We got a $2 one from Alton V. Says Big Dubs, let's go. Gaming for Veterans with the $10 super chat says congrats on 40K guys. Thank you very much. And Nick says any thought on Reichel getting taken off the power play? That's a $2 super chat. So Reichel finished the game with 20 seconds of power play time. But if you remember, there were a couple where they were like cut in half because like the Hawks took a penalty, or the Leafs took a penalty, then the Hawks did. No, I have it backwards.
Yeah.
Like, so it
No, that
wasn't
did
like there weren't a
happen.
lot of proper 2-minute power plays.
Well, I forget which power play it was. Might have been the first one that they had of the third period, I think it was. The second unit started and he wasn't out there.
Right. And then there was, I mean, he had 20. He was essentially taken off the power play. He had 20 seconds, and Nick Foligno had 2:25.
Right.
And Connor Bedard had 3:49.
Yeah.
Corey Perry, so I mean, that could be, the Luke Richardson, I was just saying, he knows when to pull back on some of these young guys. Maybe it was like, all right, I'm not going to put you out there so you could focus on just doing what you got to do at 5-on-5. And he, as we mentioned, he played a pretty good defensive game tonight. So, it could be just one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm not going to put you out there because I need you to focus on this instead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna panic over it, but through 4 games, his offensive game hasn't been tremendous, and just throwing him out there on the power play to try and get it going is probably not the best route if it's kind of sputtering at this point. So let him, like you said, kind of focus on what's working right now, which in this game tonight, focus on your 2-way game. Focus on your defensive game, and it it worked out for him for the best. It took a while, but we have our blue lines tonight. Any guess who the top blue line is?
I think it's Athanasiou.
I'm gonna say Alex Vlasic.
It is Andreas Athanasiou.
Right.
Second
That's
place.
2 in a row, right?
I don't know if it was 2 in a row.
Oh,
I don't think he was the.
I think Tyler Johnson.
I think
had
Tyler
it.
Johnson might have had it
yeah.
against Montreal. Second blue line, Seth Jones. Third blue line, Alex Vlasic. Fourth, Boris Tkachuk, which we should take about a minute or so to talk about Boris Tkachuk's
had a
effort.
Very great. Another solid game today. He's shown why he's on this roster, and a lot of people see the name and they see the point line, and they're like, whatever. But dude was a beast tonight. That line was really good. I mean,
The fourth line was great.
Before the game, you were kind of like, Athanasiou, Entwistle, and Tkachuk. That's just kind of a mix match line, not good together.
On paper, I said it in our chat group. On paper, I was like, that line is a whole weird mix, and it turned out to be one of the best lines that they had tonight. Athanasiou, 2 apples. Entwistle gets a goal. Tkachuk had a number of forechecking plays to keep plays alive. He had at least 1, maybe 2 individual efforts where he stripped a puck and got a scoring chance out of it. Like, he was playing very well tonight. And we look at the shuffling of lines and positions and players. Like, Cole Gutman was taken out, Reese Johnson was taken out, Tenorti was taken out of the game tonight. And we were like, I want to try and get Gutman in there. And in the pregame, we were like, maybe you take Tkachuk out. Well, how do you take him out after that performance tonight? He stays in. Entwistle, I think, has a performance. All that whole fourth line.
Yep.
I don't think you change anything.
You don't change the lineup after a win like this. If anything, maybe you put Tenorti back in for Zaitsev, or
Yeah.
you got the speed of Colorado coming up. Zaitsev is a faster skater than Tenorti.
And you put Kaiser on the left there, and he was so much more comfortable there today, it felt like.
Yeah.
His night got better. It was a little rough there in the first period, but some of that has to do with being on your line mate also not helping you out much. But it got better as the night went on.
Panger did a good job of illustrating him defending Auston Matthews on a play, keeping up with him speed-wise, using his stick to take the puck away. Like, there were a couple, and he won a battle against Ryan Reeves. Like, went into a corner with him and came out with the puck. Like,
Yeah.
He's got no fear.
No,
There's
and
doubt about that.
all these guys, like, the development is not just going to be like this. It's not just going to be this linear line up,
Right.
up. There's going to be peaks and valleys, and there's going to be games where they struggle and games where they look good, and it's even going to be that way through the course of a game, right, where it's up and down. But there were those moments from Kaiser where you see the stuff we all saw in preseason that made him win a job, and why he still is getting opportunities out there. I like him on his correct side. I like him on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what Luke said about moving a guy to the right side, right? If you really don't like Zaitsev, you want a strong, physical defenseman that has the strength to win a puck along the boards. Why can't Jared Tenorti play on the right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a strong physical guy. I think what you also need, though, is guys that can maybe skate their way out of trouble if they, fumble a puck off their backhand or don't get it out clear enough. Clear it in a situation and have to kind of use their skating to get back. Where Kaiser can do that, Tenorti, I don't believe would be able to do that with his skating. So I don't know. Do you? It's kind of like what do you balance out the risk reward with, and it's just tough. I mean, Zaitsev, he got banged up in the game. Didn't look too horrible, but didn't look great. Tenorti, I mean, there's not much that he can really do outside of laying a big hit or getting in a fight that makes him look really great as a defenseman. So I don't know. They're kind of in a tough spot with that basically sixth defenseman on the team. Who do you want it to be, and what position does that put Kaiser in? So he played well. Kaiser played well tonight on his normal side, but is Tenorti playing on his normal side better than Zaitsev playing on his normal side?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a win. It's hard to make change up after an impressive 4-1 win in Toronto.
And the the idea that, Zaitsev is going to be faster than Tenorti against a faster team in the Avalanche, that's something to consider as well.
Yeah, I think he can keep up with them better than tonight. I just see Tenorti just getting pyloned in Denver.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. It's I don't, like you said, I'm not changing anything next game. This is my lineup.
Yeah,
barring injury or barring some miraculous
wrong.
recovery by somebody.
You're not wrong to roll with it.
I mean, it's most hockey coaches are, hey, the lineup wins. I'm not changing anything.
Exactly.
Especially when it's two guys that make their season debut in Zaitsev and Entwistle, and then they win, especially Entwistle scoring. There's no way you take him out of the lineup. So it looks like Cole Gutman's probably going to watch another game from the press box. And, yeah.
And I was wrong. I said that Kachuk should shit. And
Jesus, dude. Easy.
that too. He will eventually.
He
I mean,
will.
he's a healthy guy. He should sit, and Gutman should play, but Kachuk proved me wrong. He had a really, really good game.
Yeah, you can't take him out of the lineup. He's been one of your best penalty killers.
Yeah.
He's your best forechecker. I think, as much as we said, before the game started on our chat, like, what are we doing with that line? But, man,
They were great.
You get Kachuk and Entwistle, they're forechecking machines, and then that just gives Anthony Siu some space.
Kachuk would be nice.
That's what I meant. Kachuk. I'm still thrown off by your shitting comment over there. But, so, yeah, Gutman, he had to sit to get Entwistle a game. And, Gutman didn't win a single face-off the last game. And obviously Luke saw something in that Montreal game he didn't like.
Yeah.
So sometimes young guys need to be grounded and be like, just
Go to your room.
Your spot is not guaranteed. So obviously he saw something to take him out. And just because the lineup played so good tonight, I don't think he's getting back in Colorado. We'll see what happens for the home opener on Saturday. Let's get a home game already.
God, let's go, please. All right. It is time to reveal the winner.
We should start a call-in segment. No.
Oh, God, no.
I think Jay would
I'm done
not
with
say
call-in
that.
segments.
That's what the
Thank
chat
you.
is for.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got one
You
right
guys
there.
are our callers.
This way we ignore the bad ones.
That's
for the most part.
bringing back PTSD for Jay.
Yeah. Hey, the Bears should move Zorich to linebacker. Okay, thanks.
What about Danks?
Urlacher should play safety. Okay. They should bring Ditka back. Okay, please hang up on yourself. Anyway, and those were good callers. Let's reveal the winners for Who's Your Hawk.
Let's.
The winner is the man with the too small of a head for the helmet.
That's 2 in a row, huh?
Mario.
Winning streak.
That's called a winning streak, my friend.
I lost and chose Bedard. I should not. That should be like a special.
I got screwed.
Like, if you pick Bedard and lose, you should not be able to pick him for like a week or something.
It's your rule, man.
There should be some kind of.
If you want to make that rule on yourself.
Somebody had a super chat asking to explain the rules, the ever-evolving rules of our super scientific,
The floor is yours.
completely official Who's Your Hawk game. Basically, we give out 2 points for a goal,
Over here. What the hell?
1 point for an assist, and then we give you an extra point if that goal or assist came on special teams or was part of the game-winning goal. So, based on that, the three of us combined for 1 point, and it was Seth Jones' secondary assist.
Hey.
Hey,
Awesome.
Seth Jones has been picked twice in 4 games, and he's won both times. My win came picking Seth Jones in the Boston game. So keep picking Seth Jones.
I might. I just
Ride
might.
ride the wave.
It feels good to wear this helmet as a winner.
Our first back-to-back winner in
Congratulations.
Who's Your Hawk history, in the long storied history of Who's Your Hawk. So yes,
You know-
super. And if we have ties, it just gets way too convoluted to speak. we just punch each other as hard as we can. The last guy standing wins.
It's the slap fighting.
Yes.
By the way, as Seth Jones is the reason you won, aside from his assist, how about this? +3, 27:57 of ice time, 2 shots on goal, 6 more shot attempts, 2 hits, and 4 block
This
shots.
is his best
Yeah.
game of the year.
That was a badass performance by Seth Jones. He played great in this game.
He
was bad against Montreal.
He followed up his worst game of the season with his
Yes,
best game of the
he was
season. That's what you want to see.
outstanding in this game.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
And it helps that he was playing with all-star Alex Vlasic. So
Yeah. Hey, you know what? But like,
great
hey,
night.
as people are very quick to jump out here when Seth Jones has a subpar game, really quiet when he has a good game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really quiet.
Right.
Yep. Typical.
Yep. All right, and now before we wrap the show up, we got to take a little jaunt before he falls asleep for the night into Connor's corner.
It's back here.
We still need that kid song.
Pointless for Connor Bedard tonight. 1835.
First and last time in his NHL career.
1835 of ice time, 4 shots on goal, 2 more shot attempts, 2 hits, 1-4, and lost 9 faceoffs for 31%. So, again, a factor every time he was on the ice, but this was probably his least effective overall game. Not a criticism, just a fact. Nothing to worry about. And you obviously didn't see him towards the end, when they were trying to defend that lead. So we'll see how he does against Colorado on Thursday. I don't want to wait till Thursday for a game.
Especially
Are they coming?
9:30.
Yeah, this sucks.
They're coming home.
They're not.
No?
I confirm that.
Oof.
They're going right to Denver.
What a road trip.
Go visit the DNVR bar
Yeah, they could.
right there in Colfax.
Yeah.
Get yourself the Kyle Mecklenburger.
You could do that. What
those
was
Carl
nachos.
Mecklenburger?
Yeah,
Carl
what
Mecklenburger.
did we get?
The
I had the
nacho-
Forsberger and the Avalanche nachos.
The Avalanche
Yeah.
nachos, yes.
Folgers
It's
canned nachos.
literally a steel bucket of nachos that they just lift up onto the tray, and it all just pours out in a cheesy, nacho-y goodness.
Delightful.
It was wonderful.
Maybe Connor Bedard can have his first onion ring there or something,
Maybe.
if he can get in.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
not old enough.
you can go into the bar and eat.
Do they have booster seats there?
Hey, Chair.
They might. But if you are heading over to the DNVR bar, make sure you ask them for Delicious Goose Island, and they'll say, no, that's at CHGO.
Yes, you need to
Because
go to
Goose
Chicago.
Island is the proud beer sponsor of us here at CHGO, and they've been Chicago's beer since 1988, and they have a delicious roster of year-round beers for you to choose from and enjoy, including the full pocket pills, the everyday beer that the Goose Island beer brewers are drinking, the entire family of the Beer Hug IPAs, and you have the 312 Wheat Ale, the golden cans, the staple of their year-round roster. And, excuse me, and speaking of Goose Island beers, we had our CHGO Sports representatives out at the United Center tasting this year. Emma and Casey were out there for us.
Yeah.
And they were introduced to, I'm going to pull up the names here. Obviously, the Blackhawks Pale Ale is available this season again from Goose Island, but also the Bull and Goose West Side Ale that is to honor the Chicago Bulls.
Bulls.
The design on that can is beautiful. I will guide you to our CHGO Twitter accounts, social media accounts, to see some of the designs for the Bull and Goose can. It is fantastic. Like, that is such a sleek design. And from what I hear, a sleek tasting beer. So you can grab all of these ultra fresh brewery exclusive beers when you go to Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or you can go to their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Again, that is the Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
All right. With that, we're going to wrap the show up. Hey, that is by far, I think, the biggest postgame show we've ever had.
Over 500?
Yeah.
Yeah, for postgame.
Yeah, for a significant portion of the show.
Dude, what was
Not counting
Taze's last game? Was that many?
I don't remember.
Last
it was
year?
up there. We had more than this in for the home for the.
Yeah, I feel like we had 800
in
plus
Pittsburgh.
in Pittsburgh.
Well, the biggest post game show from the studio.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate you being here for us.
From the
Awesome.
least sticky room that we've been in.
Yes, we appreciate it.
That's for
358 likes is awesome. When we first started doing these post game shows, if we had 100 people watching and like 75 likes, we were ecstatic.
Yeah.
So bigger and better things coming. We owe it all to you, Mario. You said earlier, if it wasn't for all of our listeners, we wouldn't have jobs. It's half true. We'd have jobs. It'd just be shitty jobs.
Yeah.
Not great jobs. So
true. Been there, done that.
we owe it all to you guys, and all the support we've gotten from day one, but especially over the past couple of months and first 4 games of the season has been absolutely incredible. And it makes us want to work harder and do better and bring better content. So we're just getting started.
Just saw this quote from Alex Vlasic from Ben Pope. It says, could be one of my best games for sure. I've just taken the next step. As the season's gone on, I've been able to progress. That's a confident kid. and he deserves to be. Awesome game for him. I think we're going to spend some time really dissecting the Hawks defenseman on tomorrow's show. We're live at 2:30 p.m. Set yourself a reminder. Put it in your phone. Whatever you need to do. Turn those alerts on the YouTube page so you know whenever CHGO goes live. But we'll have plenty of stuff to dive into on tomorrow's show. We hope you'll join us then. Thanks to Steven for running the show as always and for giving us heart attacks with the goal horn. Thank you to you for getting us over that 40K mark. And here's to 40K more and even more beyond that. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 2:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.